suddenly, Adam, just above our heads, maybe 100 feet, 16 craft, just like the one going around Didymos, came over our heads. They weren't high up. They weren't not like stars that you see moving around. These were maybe 150, 200-foot disc, 100 feet above our heads, 16 of them. Hello, Adam.
Are you there?
Yes. Is this BP Earthwatch?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
Oh, my God.
What you guys doing tonight?
Oh, we were just hanging out.
Man, you guys are... You got a killer show, Adam. You and Dex really got it together, man. It's really coming together good.
Well, it's just an honor to have you on. You know, I tried to get you on for my 100,000 subscriber special, and I did not. It's like a huge honor. Now, technically, I know because they screwed you up. Your channel's smaller now, but you were a huge channel, and they ripped that from you, and I'm so sorry that happened. But I've been trying to help you get back to where you were ever since. I tell tons of people about you, and I know it sounds like I'm like totally, you know, but it really is an honor. I've been watching you since way before I was on YouTube, and I've just always really liked your videos. My sister and I watched you together for like 2 years.
Well, hey, I appreciate that. Adam, yeah, that was the second time they took me down last November, and but we're back up, and everything's running good. We're closing, I think, again to about 50,000 subscribers. But I wanted to congratulate you on the fact that I watched your 100,000 subscriber show. And have you gotten your plaque yet? Your YouTube plaque?
No, I didn't even ask for it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Why?
I was going to say, I remember when I've got mine behind me on the old channel there, and it's kind of neat, you know. I don't think I asked for it. I really don't remember how I got it. It just came in the mail one day. But back in 2012, when I started on YouTube, everything was different, and I just started doing videos, and suddenly they asked me, did I want to monetize my channel and things like that, and I said, sure, you know, whatever. But when you get to political, you know how that goes. But you, Adam, I was in my studio. We're working on a new CD, and the alert went off on my computer that you had went live. So I came on, and Dex got me on with you, and I heard you mention a couple different things. The asteroid Didymos. Now, back one of the videos, I think they got 700 or 800 on the last takedown. It was about 150 million views or something like that. But I had a video with the radar imaging of Didymos, and it's actually not two asteroids. It's one asteroid, and there's a circular ship, chrome, that looks chrome or some type of stainless steel that's in the exact shape of almost a quarter or silver dollar that's circling that from the original radar. They didn't like that video when I caught the radar and put it up. And that may have a lot to do with why they are attempting to take that satellite down. In other words, a ship, an asteroid won't normally have enough gravity for 2 or 3 asteroids to wrap around it, but it will have the same thing as a Lagrange point, which would give a craft coming in enough gravitational pull into the asteroid to where the craft uses almost no energy. It's just riding with the asteroid in an orbit, saving its energy. And the reason that caught my interest on that particular video, Adam, when I caught the radar of when they first spotted it, I mean, it was so obvious. There is a circular disc, chrome, not a rock, perfectly cylindrical, that's following this disc. Now, that may be why they are looking at this asteroid. Let me tell you why I think that is because back in 2013, I had been doing a series of videos on Dulce in New Mexico. Have you heard of that?
I've actually watched your videos on it, yeah.
anyway, it's about underground bases and things like that, right? So I was going out to Arizona anyway. My son was in the Air Force out at Luke Air Force Base in Phoenix. And so I talked about it for a month on YouTube, Adam, and this goes kind of into a deep subject. And a lot of people I don't know if they believe that there's other craft that are not man-made craft who are not. That's up to them, okay? Anyway, so, and I think that if you're dealing with an intelligence, a race of intelligence that is superior to ours, that has been here longer than us, do you think they may notice what's going on social media or TV or radio broadcasts or military broadcasts? Sure, they do. They may have helped that technology come to this planet. Anyway, so for a month or so, I was talking about going out to Dulce, checking out the underground bases. But anyway, we went through Phoenix first to visit my son and our newborn grandson. He, again, right outside Luke Air Force Base. He was Air Force. When I got there, we'd just gotten out of the vehicle and hadn't had time to unload any cameras. We were just saying hello to the family. He lived just south of the Air Force Base, looking over the Estrella Mountain Range, looking into Mexico. Just south of there was the Phoenix International Speedway. Well, and suddenly, Adam, just above our heads, maybe 100 feet, 16 craft, just like the one going around Didymos, came over our heads. They weren't high up. They weren't not like stars that you see moving around. These were maybe 150, 200-foot disc, 100 feet above our heads, 16 of them, right on the outskirts of Phoenix. And they were flying it like birds fly or like fish move through the ocean. In other words, they were darting in and out of each other so fast that the G-force would have killed a normal human being. And what I think it was Adam, we have two different types of extraterrestrial beings. There are good ones and there are bad ones. In other words, if you look back in the Old Testament, only a third of the angels fell. 2/3 stayed and fought with God. And if you look back into the first chapter of Ezekiel, these craft came down. I'm not trying to get biblical here or anything, and he describes the same things that I saw. Adam, they appeared above us. They were moving very fast. They let me know that they knew that I was coming, and they were tracked an hour later going north, the same 16 craft over Denver, Colorado. Now, that's a long way away. When I saw them, they were headed over Mexico, over the Phoenix International Speedway. So the first thing I did was for the next few nights set up cameras there. But the next morning, the CBS station in Phoenix, Arizona, this was in, I want to say May 2013. You can still look it up. I immediately went to their newscast and they had recorded it. Thousands of people had seen this. But what they saw was like the Phoenix lights, Adam. Remember back in 98, 99, whenever it was, there was formations flying over Phoenix.
And
they were seeing big V's and things.
Yes, I talked to a couple of the people, including somebody who was a city council member who was there during it, and he said, everybody there, including the reputable people of the whole city. I mean, what was it? The sheriff, there was some sort of mayor or governor there that said he saw it. I mean, it was
the governor. It was the governor.
That's right. And so the governor said, I saw this thing. It was a huge, huge ship or something that floated right above them. Yeah, that's crazy.
Right. Yeah, and that was the first sighting, but I was there at the second sighting and I saw it. Now, the difference was this: both of the reports that came from mainstream media showed a formation of 3 or 4, 5, 6 discs flying over the city in like a V formation. Well, that's what was happening that night in the city. But if you know where Luke Air Force Base, it's on the western side of Phoenix towards the California area and on the south side. So you're on the southwest side near the Estrella Mountains. Well, they came over the city with about 4 of them in a V formation. This is in 2013, not the original one, and you can look it up. I think May 2013, CBS News. And they show the same thing that you saw in the original Phoenix Lights. But we were on the outside corner, and we were just off the landing zone of Luke Air Force Base, some of the top military jets in the world. That's where my son works. Well, there's about 10 airports in Phoenix, counting Luke, a couple of major ones and some small ones. So if you're looking out south over the mountains, there's incoming air traffic from both ways. I mean, different directions everywhere you look, coming in and out, right? With suddenly the 4 disc that was over the city in a parade type situation, they moved to the right corner, but they were joined by 12 more discs, the exact same size, that were no longer in formation. It was like a hunting party. They exited out the southwest corner of Phoenix in a very fast motion, but they were darting in and out just as you would see fish or birds fly. In other words, it was like unnatural as far as man-made craft. So what happened, I'd been in Phoenix talking to different people, went up into Dulce, been up into Sedona, met the Hopi Indians. And I told them about this, and they told me that they were called the Flying Shields. That's a benevolent being. Now, so many people told me back in 2013 when I did the video, I actually showed the images from the news and the area where I was at, excuse me, said, Beeper, you're talking about evil alien beings, but they forget that there were 2/3 of the angels that did not fall, right? And so this goes back to the asteroid, Didymos, and man trying to shoot down an asteroid coming in.
Now,
we have technology.
How long have we known?
Here.
How long have we known? How long have we known about the Didymos? I thought this was something. I guess was this 2019 or 2018 or?
No, this has been 4 or 5 years ago. The first it was X-ray images. Maybe longer than that. I've been on YouTube since 2012, 2013, done dozens of them. And it was one of the videos that were taken down, Adam. I would have to go back and search through some hard drives to pull it up. But I think I have part of that information on a video on the new channel, what I could retrieve. But my point is this. The space, Trump's new space race, which actually began with Obama, it's not about shooting down an asteroid unless it is involved in something they don't want us to know about. If there's a craft coming in on Didymos and the radar images show a perfect cylindrical disk, then they may want to take that out because they don't want what's coming to get here. But my message is this, it's already here. 16 of them came over my head, let me know they were there. They knew exactly what was going on, and they were benevolent. They were not evil beings because we have, as the Hopis called it, the flying shields. They shield us, just like there was angels in the Old Testament that came and looked over people like Daniel and Ezekiel. You got good and bad. And so what mainstream media is trying to get us to look at is that anything extraterrestrial or anything to do with a disc like that, thank you for putting that up, Adam, is evil. And that's wrong. Because if that was wrong, and again, angel in the Bible is messenger. It never says winged being. It only refers to that in the sense that Ezekiel saw these craft come down. And he saw the throne of God come down in Ezekiel chapter 1. And so we have good and bad beings. So if there was something that was approaching the earth like Didymos that was destructive, there's technology there from these people. And I don't think they're green being, little green being or anything. I think they're ancient earth civilizations. They could take that out with technology far superior to any missile we have. Just like they've been doing forever. You've seen videos back in the day when if they were about to launch a nuclear missile, they would show something fly over and knock out all the nukes where they couldn't fire them. We are dealing with two different entities, and 2/3 of them are good. But what again, the main thing about this Didymus and the space race is not about shooting down an asteroid. What they're looking at right now is we're dealing with weather manipulation via China, big time, because it was a lot of our technology was sold out. And I did a video a few weeks ago showing that there was a huge HAARP donut shape that came straight over the Caribbean hurricane and wiped it out within a few minutes. So we are not only in a trade war, currency war with China, but we are in a space weather war. Russia's involved also. But there's a lot of things going on to where they're trying to shift the narrative away from what is real.
So
go ahead.
Can I ask you?
Long-winded there.
No, that's fine. Like I said, it is an honor.
I'm probably past my 5 minutes too.
Oh no, you're fine. You automatically you had at least 10 because we couldn't get you on for the 100,000 subscriber special. Which, just to answer your question about the plaque, I have purposely not done it. It was like a code, and I didn't want to do it. One, because I've had others tell me once they got it, they basically their channel just dropped. So I don't know if they have to review your channel now. I think right at that point they kind of like, I don't know. It's just superstitious. I don't care about the plaque. I think it is really cool. Of course, all of us. I worked really hard for this, and I know you worked really hard. You had you were up to 350,000. You were almost 500,000 or whatever you were at. You worked really hard to get here, so you deserve the time. You also deserve the time on my platform. I hope you get right back to where you were. I could not believe it. I was utterly shocked, and I don't always agree with you or any other person on the YouTube, but you are just the most genuine person out here, and you've never had anything bad about it. I mean, people that have been on YouTube for a very long time, some people will say this or that. Basically, the only people that dislike you are just people that disagree with some of your thoughts. That's it. Nobody can say anything bad about this man. He is incredibly smart, and his voice is absolutely famous. People know his voice from a million miles away. That voice is the BP Earthwatch. He was it's very sad to say. I'm so glad when you started back up. Now you're growing again. It looks like you're growing. It's like picking up again. Again, you had to go from being this huge YouTuber down to nothing, and you stood right back on. You got right back on the horse and kept going. So I just want to say I'm going to try to push many people your way. I've mentioned you just on random shows. In fact, for a couple days after that, we did a slide just to push people your way. So I really appreciate you, BP. I do want to pick your brain on a couple things real quick.
Okay.
There, as far as let's see. Oh man, this is crazy. I've watched you for years.
Let me give you one word. Let me write this down, and you guys Google search it. It's called Paracutin, Paricutin, Paracutin. It has everything to do with China Lake.
Paracutin. Okay. So what did
I'm having a little audio.
That's okay.
It's a volcano that. All right. It's a volcano that started out exactly like China Lake down in Mexico. It was in a cornfield, Adam. It's not that long ago, at all. Look, just type in Paricutin. All right, this guy's out in this cornfield, and he starts feeling these earthquakes. And I've got a couple of videos. There you go. I've got a couple of videos out about the volcanic movement under China Lake. Well, this is not that far from there. But he's one day in a cornfield, and before this is over, he has a 1,300-foot volcano in his cornfield. And the only thing that will create that, there you go, that's it, right there. Cinder cone volcano, and this is in, and maybe not your lifetime, but my father's lifetime. This isn't an old volcano at all. There's actual footage of all of this that went on, and we're dealing with the same thing, I think, in China Lake, because we're still getting aftershocks, 200 or 300 a day, sometimes more. And north of there, up the Owens Valley, is a major magma pool. And that many aftershocks is the same thing that happened there in Mexico when this Paracutan volcano emerged out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that may
it
be
actually
what we're
shows.
dealing with.
It shows the story of the guy. He says, at 4 p.m., I left my wife to set fire to a pile of branches when I noticed that a crack, which was situated on one of the knolls of my farm, had opened, and I saw that it was a kind of fissure that had a depth of only 1/2 meter, so like maybe 1.5 feet. I set about to ignite the branches again. I felt a thunder and the trees trembled. Basically, this thing came out of his frickin' backyard and turned into an actual volcano out of nowhere.
Major volcano.
A major volcano.
Recently. Yeah.
Wow.
And the ash covered the ash layer. Adam, have you ever been through New Mexico, through the Roswell area in the Valley of Fire where the lava fields are? That's what happened there. But that's what's going on, I think, in China Lake.
So when I first heard that, I didn't know. So a lot of the weird things is, what do you think about how they China Lake got $100 million approved within like 2 days, even though there wasn't much physical damage after the earthquake? What did you think about that when they first did that? Like they just like, oh, approved.
Well,
go ahead.
Adam, I was watching your show one night, and a lady called in, maybe 2 people called in and said one of the earthquakes was not like an earthquake that rolled, one was like a bomb. Do you remember that?
Yes, and I felt one just like it.
Okay, that's right. I remember your show when that happened, and it made me think that there was possibly, there's in a volcano you can have a lava explosion or you can have a geothermal explosion, and that happened. If you look up Crater Lake in our lifetime, up in the northern part of the United States. It's called Crater Lake. It's a volcano. It's a geothermal explosion, and that may have happened. And that would be different from a normal earthquake. In other words, that's when water comes in contact with the lava. It heats up like steam, and you have a massive explosion. You don't have the lava, but you can have winds that are hurricane force that will blow trees down, and earthquakes and landslides. Simply from it, that could have been a geothermal explosion, or it could have been an attack from a foreign entity, and it could have been done via satellite. But the $100 million went in there instantly with no congressional debate because there was major destruction. What? I don't know. But I remember the show. It always flashed back to your show with the lady. Maybe it was 2 callers that night that said one of them sounded like a bomb.
So, and I know exactly what and people, when we did that show, several people called. They said from as far as 600 miles away, they felt it and they heard it, and they had all these sounds. I just think it's incredibly, incredibly weird. By the way, I've put your channel up several times. So you actually watched the show. Have you seen, other than the 100,000 subscriber special? That was something where we reached out. But
I've been a subscriber for several months.
That is too cool. I mean, it's just kind of.
And I talk about your show too, by the way.
Well, I have been told a couple times that you've shouted it out, and it's just an honor because. It's kind of like, like if you were, and it's not in the same ball field, but like say if you had one of your favorite people on TV, and then all of a sudden your life changes, and then all of a sudden you're on TV and you're working with the person from TV. It's just weird. But I do really appreciate you. I watched hours and hours and hours of your content. I mean, literally, like. I would every night before I go to sleep. That's how I've been on both sides of the YouTube. I understand why people watch these. I didn't know how people could sit through 2.5 hours of my show, but I do understand we're always changing every 5 minutes. There's something new. You know, it's just something that you put on and kind of drone out. But I think we're doing a service, both yourself and myself, because we are sharing this stuff that normally people would not hear. So I'm just glad to be a part of it, and glad to, glad to know people like you. So just really, really happy to actually talk to you.
Adam, you picked up that veil. You picked it up. You picked up that charge and did a very good job with it, Adam, because you're doing it in a way to where you're not biased in any way, which is very good with the certain things we are going through, but also with real honesty. And I have found since 2012 that honesty is the best policy. Just come out and be yourself, and you've done a perfect job. And look, with Dex backing you up, that's a really plus, because I try to run the studio here by myself, and it can really get confusing with but you've got great help, you got great backup, you got a great message, and I know you just had to move. You got a brand new baby, and so, man, I just give you millions of kudos for the challenges you've been through and still hanging in there. And I will continue to promote you.
Well, so can I do want to get some more callers in. Can we do a full show together? I would love to do that.
Sure. Sure, no problem. Yeah, I'd like to hear some of your other callers too. I didn't mean to take up so much time.
It's an honor. And everybody is probably going to get mad at me. But there are people on hold. But it's fine. I would love for you to call in anytime you get triggered to think of it. Please do. And then, yeah, I love your channel. I know I sound like a fanboy or something, but I really am. And it really meant a lot to me that you were on my 100,000 subscribers special, and then we couldn't get you because you had internet things. We had technical difficulties, and it was really sad. I was like super proud to put that in the title of it, and then it didn't end up working out. So
I remember.
Yeah,
I remember. I couldn't get in. I almost couldn't get in tonight.
I know. It was weird. We had all sorts of drama back then, but we're trying to get through all that. And thank you so much. You have a wonderful night, and we should do a whole show together. I'd love to do that.
Just let me know.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone for listening.
The real BP Earthwatch.
Thanks, Adam.
All right. Hey, you're very welcome. Have a good night. This is the world's first and only military-tested EMP protection device for your home, for your car. You can get one for your RV, and you can even get one for a generator. Now, if you can start up your generator after a 3-hour EMP surge or a 10-second EMP surge, this thing protects against an E1, E2, and E3 phase of an EMP. You are going to survive with power or with a device or with whatever you end up having, and someone else is not. This is going to end up saving lives. And again, this is no joke. This is something you either have professionally installed in your house, you install in your car, or you install on your generator, and it can withstand multiple EMPs. Not only that, it can actually provide complete and tested, Keystone military tested protection against electromagnetic pulses, CMEs, coronal mass ejections, such as the Carrington event, lightning, it has a 100% guarantee against that, and all other forms of power surges. So it's smart. If your car runs when somebody else's doesn't, if you all of a sudden nobody can drive except for yourself, that's a no-brainer. If you have a bug out spot but you can't drive there, what help will it be? If you have a bug in spot but no power, yeah, again, people say, well, if the grid goes down, why would you even need it? When the grid does come back up, or if you have a generator, that doesn't matter. Again, these are all kind of no-brainers. You can save $50 with the promo code MARF. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. And here's the coolest part. We know not everyone can afford one. So, again, EMP Shield is doing a giveaway. Winners choose the device, and there's already over 18 ways to enter, including daily entries. Again, you can choose which one that you want if you win. There's going to be multiple winners. Dex, do you know how many winners there's going to be this time? Last time it was 3, I believe.
Hey, Adam, it's going to be 3 winners this time.
Okay, so now, again, in just 2 or 2.5 months or something, 6 people are going to have this professional device either in their home or their car for free. These things, they're not toys. So again, this is a professional way and a permanent way to protect yourself from EMPs. Go to marfooglenews.com/contest.
You want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens? Go to marfooglenews.com and get Marfoogle alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Foogle Fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfoogle Fam is waiting for you.